Jago, nice
How
to
are you,
meet you,
man?
man.
Nice to
Yep,
meet you
how
as
you
well.
doing?
Good, man. I'm
You're,
good. Is my voice clear?
yeah, I can hear you
All
great.
right. All right.
You're in Dubai, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Sharjah, but yeah, Dubai.
Oh, okay, very nice, man. Never been. Maybe I'll get down there one day.
Uh,
So that'll be fun. So yeah, so tell me about your startup. I'm on the website right now, Clarity. Can you tell me a little bit
uh-huh.
about it?
Yeah. So basically, the idea came to my mind last month. So I always had this problem. Uh, if I would think about anything or brainstorm or try to solve a lot of problems in my life at the same time, I would get this chaos in my brain. Like everything just go chaotic in my brain, and I don't know what to do. And this was leading me to procrastination and not achieving my goals and not doing anything. Also, the biggest part is it was making me not happy in life and always anxious and stressed. And I came up with this idea of I think the core problem in the whole system is me not able to see my brain and not able to see what's going on in my head. That's why this thing drives me crazy sometimes. So I came up with the idea, what if I have this application or platform where it shows your brain, the source and the current stage in the screen, and at the same time you can talk to LLM, which is at the bottom, and LLM by analyzing your stuff in detail, it uh, builds the map and also shows you the connections of how your source connected, gives you help in understanding them, in organizing them, and making tasks and etc. So basically, reduce the stress and overload in your brain. And why is it ADHD? You might ask. Because I went to Reddit and I started reading the problems that people have led to this overload, and I found out that okay, uh, it's mostly people with ADHD have these problems. I'm not ADHD myself, not officially at least, but it's mostly, other people also have the problem of mental overload, but I think it's very significant and most related to ADHD, people with ADHD. That's why I think it was a good segment for early adopters. That's why I chose them as a first segment to target.
Yeah. As a kid, and that's definitely affected me a lot. It's also made me probably who I am today. It's really kind of allowed me to be a serial entrepreneur and probably get a lot more done. If I'm really interested in something, I can get it done. But if I'm not interested in it, then it's not happening. So probably something like Clarity would actually help out quite a bit. Um, do you want to share your screen real quick? Can you show me the site and kind of walk me through like now is it supposed to be an app or is it a web app or a website or
Right, yeah, it's a web app, but it's not ready yet. If you're
okay.
talking, oh, because I first I want to validate my idea, right? I want to validate it. I want to see if people actually want it or no. That's why I was getting people for the wait list, and I was aiming for 20 paid customers. I was
Okay.
charging $99 lifetime subscription, and this would be an ideal sign for me to start making it.
Yeah. So the end product going to be an app or a web app?
It's gonna be a web app, yeah. But it doesn't matter. It depends on what users want from me. I can build whatever. I can build Android or iOS applications as well. But I was aiming for at the beginning just application like platform, web platform.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking is because when you launch an app, you've got access to the internal traffic in the App Store. So if you and what I do a lot of app marketing. So I've taken companies like Willow Concerts, I've grown them to 50 million downloads in the app stores, 3 million subscribers, and about 340 million a year in revenue. And the reason we were able to do that was because we got ranked in the app store really quickly. And we accomplished that by working with about 10,000 micro influencers at scale. So we would go in, we would run ads on Facebook and Instagram. We would find micro influencers who were, looking for brands that they could represent. And then we would have them basically download the app in the App Store. They would review it, and then they would share the app with their friends and family. And in no time, we were ranked. We were ranked in the popular category in the Apple TV Store. because we had such a high volume of downloads like right away. And then that opened us up to a lot more organic traffic within the App Store. And then we were able to start trending. We were able to get ranked on the music category. And in 3 months, we were actually the #1 music app in the Apple TV Store. And this was back in 2014. And all we
What
did
was it called? What was
was,
it called?
yeah, it's called Quello Concerts. It's
Uh-huh.
Quello Concerts. And so, like, just that 10,000 micro influencers downloading the app, reviewing it in the App Store, that's what allowed it to get ranked in the App Store. And then it opened it up to all of the organic traffic within the App Store. So, anybody looking for like productivity apps, anybody looking for like ADHD apps specifically, once you're ranked and you're in the App Store, now all of those organic downloads have no cost associated with them directly. And that's how we were able to scale Quello. We were able to get ranked, and then through the App Store rankings, we were able to generate about 50 million downloads, and now the company is worth 2.4 billion, and that was just from using 10,000 micro influencers. And it probably cost me maybe $20,000 to run the campaign. And they actually paid me $90,000 and gave me 5% of the company for doing that. Um, but that's how we scaled and grew them. So you could use that same methodology to grow Clarity if you have an app. You can't really do that with a web app. Then you're looking for more like you're looking for just driving traffic to the app, getting people signed up. There's not really any advantage getting organic downloads in the App Store from that. So I would definitely recommend launching an app.
From my perspective, is any campaign is too early for me right now. I just want to shape the product in the first place and find who will be my ideal customers, and
Yeah,
try to get early innovators, early adopters, people who like really need a product or problem, really need a product that solves the problem.
yeah,
And I think I was focusing more on Reddit and other tools just to get people who are really, really interested to even sign up and ideally pay for me for the app that doesn't really exist yet. And I don't want to scale it yet. I just want 20 people that paid me, and I just want to make a platform for these 20 people only.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean,
what what what
yeah,
do you advise on that?
you're still in the market validation stage. So, before you do launch, and are you planning on charging people before you launch
Yeah, I want to charge them right now. I get 20 people and they have to pay $99 lifetime right now
Mhm.
before even the thing is ready yet. And then I will start building it. I have a
Okay.
team of programmers, and I just don't want to, commit to this thing that maybe not yet interesting for people.
Yeah, I mean, without what type of product are you going to deliver for the cost? Is it the web app, the current version of the web app, or do you guys have something that you're going to develop? Or because I don't understand the connection there.
All right, so should I share you my screen of how
Yep.
I think it's supposed to look like?
Okay.
All right, you see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the first page of the application. Uh,
Okay.
so like basically ChatGPT or any other LLM, you type your thoughts, you say, I want to talk about this, that. For example, here I'm just saying, I want to I want to know how brain works, and I want to use it to build the UX UI of my application. I read some books and I watched some videos. Please tell me more about how brain works. And it responds to me, and at the same time it builds the mind map of the brain currents that I have in the brain here on the background. And now I see connects with my brain. I see that I was talking about UX UI and
Mhm.
connects to how brain works. So I know some stuff here which are blue, and I don't know some stuff which is purple. And AI is trying to generate me the ideas to do it. So kind of this idea circle gets filled. When it's filled, it transfers here in the knowledge. So basically, it's a current stage of my brain right now. So if I talk more, it's gonna develop more and show me more connections, more ideas, more thoughts. Also gonna show me the problems I have in each field. For example, Here, I think that learning about brain is hard. Also, it solves me this problem I have. So it's kind of anxiety point I want to solve for my brain. And when I talk more and brainstorm more with the application, in the end, as a result, they're gonna get something like that, which is already three things I talked about today: psychology, how brain works, and habits. And the AI gave me the tasks that I have to I can do. So basically took my thoughts first, organize my thoughts, then
Hmm.
set up connections that give me conclusions, and then build the tasks. Okay, this is
Okay.
the first thing to do. You need to read the book and book the task as well of the subtasks, so you don't get lost.
Yep.
And it's, today's session is over. For example, tomorrow I come and I wanna brainstorm more about the same thing. So I go to the search button and basically search whatever. Okay, how brain and Clearity UX UI design. I click it, takes it back to the thing, and I can brainstorm more. So this is how ideally would look like, in
Okay.
my opinion, to solve my problem. And,
Gotcha.
I need to stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah. So, when I do, like a pre-launch and I'm trying to get kind of feedback, I think interjecting a paywall or, making people pay for it when the product's not finished yet might be hard to get them to pay $99, and then you're not getting the data. Um,
Uh-huh.
so one of the things that so I've been doing these mentorship calls for about 4 years now. I've done about 800 of them, and I mean the one of the reasons I do these calls is because it allows me to find deal flow. I own a venture capital firm, and we invest in early stage startups. So one of the ways that I find deals is by offering something of value for free. So these mentorship calls is a way to kind of open the door, build a relationship, provide value, and and then from that, usually probably 1% of the people that I talk to, I end up doing a deal with. I end up finding something to invest in or partnering in something like that, right? So, but my goal is to offer value and then to get value, but only after there's a good match. 99% of the people I talk to, I'm just offering free help to, and I'm able to offer quite a bit of help, even within like 30 to 45 minute call. Uh, so what I would recommend doing is maybe uh, offering a service for free, speaking with people that have ADHD, figuring out what their pain points are, figuring out like where the weaknesses are in your model, and figuring out how to build a product that's easy for them to use, intuitive. And then once you have that, then you start kind of building your product around what the actual like focus group is telling you, right?
Mhm.
That way, you're not building a product first and then figuring out what works and what doesn't work. The worst thing that you can do as a startup is build a product without doing any market research first, because by the time you're done with that product, you might have spent a crazy amount of money and time developing it, only to determine that, well, it's not intuitive enough for people to really get it and understand it, or you haven't developed the right features, or you haven't started with the right features first. So you always let the market tell you kind of the direction that your product should be built in. And I think interjecting a paywall before you figure out what those pain points are with those people, you're not going to get as many people to do that. The other thing too is to find those people. You're going to have to probably either going to have to do just a lot of growth hacking, which is a lot of going into communities and talking to people, and getting them to pay is going to be probably a challenge. So I would say kind of put the paywall aside and then just work with people that have ADHD and get to their problem sets so that you can figure what those are, and then you know develop a product that solves those.
Mhm. Yeah, I was. So what I was doing, so if you go to my waitlist in the web application, it doesn't say you have to pay. But there's
Yeah.
a out of 8 questions, out of 7 questions, six. There's one question saying that do you want to be part of a founding membership to pay this amount and to get the early access and join the closed WhatsApp group and be close to founders? Like you don't have to pay right now, but it says that if you pay, it's better for you because you get more value if you pay. But I don't like you don't have to pay to use it because
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's
you don't.
good.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that
that.
you want to get that feedback from people, right?
Yeah, and I got 10 people sign up only yesterday. So I started yesterday,
Hmm.
and I was sending them emails to like these questions of, okay, what's your biggest problem and why do you think Clearity might be interesting? And at the end, I will just put the link to my calendar saying that if you want to talk with me, or text me on Instagram or LinkedIn anywhere, please feel free. I'm always open to talk. I want to know your problems and etc. I
Yeah,
was doing that. I was not asking for money from the first place. I'll probably ask for
yeah,
money if I find out that the person is serious about it, and then I'll be like, okay, you want to pay because if you pay, things gonna go faster. It's gonna be better, and we're gonna take your feedback, more seriously if you pay. That's
yeah,
what we wanted to do. But since the biggest problem I have right now is just to get people to this wait list and
yeah,
then to reach out to them after later. Because even though people sign up for the wait list, they don't actually respond to emails. Most of them, I don't know, it's weird because for them maybe it's too much effort to respond to email. But yeah, these two things I think are the biggest dropout periods. The dropout point is to getting people to wait list and making them respond to your email. I'm working on that currently. Just thinking about that. Do you have any insights on that? Like I'm kind of lost in this space.
yeah. No, I think like kind of doing what I'm doing with these mentorship calls. Make it get people on a phone call, get people on a video call, and actually have a conversation with them, do a demo, and that way, like when they're signing up, you're kind of getting them immediately into something where you can actually show value, you can get feedback in real time. Because people are more apt to like hop on a video call with you than like respond to an email. So
Yeah.
once you get somebody that's interested, try to get them into, you know, either like a webinar. Even if you do like a webinar, you can even. Are you familiar with EverWebinar?
No.
So you can basically record a webinar and then basically kind of rebroadcast it. And I use a growth hacking mechanism called basically an invite drip automation, where I can basically develop a list of people that have ADHD. I own a data company, and so part of our data company is anybody looking for anything that has to do with like ADHD or mind maps or anything directly related to that. I can basically pull up a list of everybody's contact info who's searching Google for those keywords, and then I can basically invite them using an email drip invite. So within EverWebinar, you can basically create you can actually register people for a webinar using their transactional invite emails, and that will basically send them an email actually inviting them, to the webinar. And then, probably only 1 to 2% of those people are going to actually join the webinar. But I can generate a list of 300,000 people, and over a month, I can drip invite, probably 30, 40,000 of them a month. And then, you know, get all of them into an ever webinar where they're watching my webinar. They're basically looking at a product demo. And then if they're interested in scheduling a follow up, they can do that there as well. But that's kind of a cheap way to get in front of people that are actively searching for what you're doing. They're actually looking for a solution to the problem. If it's
Mhm.
ADHD or whatever. And then you're basically sending them access to a free webinar that basically shows your product and demos your product for you without you having to do it every time. And then if they're interested from there, you can then put them into a separate funnel, sending them to another webinar sign up, like a live webinar with you, or schedule a call with you, or something like that. So, but kind of thinking outside of the box where you're not running ads. Running ads probably isn't going to work, you know, at the states that you're at right now. So you want to have probably a cheaper way to get in front of a lot of people, get as much feedback as you can, and get them into the product and getting a demo of the product. And that's usually the easiest way to do it. So
All right. And how much time it takes? Is it time consuming?
yeah, we still got about 15
No,
minutes.
no, I was not the call. The what are we explaining? The webinar thing. How much time it
Yeah, so
takes?
I mean, yeah, I have a whole strategy. I'd have to send it to you. But all you really need is a Zapier account, an Ever webinar account, and then once you
All right.
record the product demo and you put it up on Ever webinar, then you basically just take your Google sheet of all your contacts, and then you basically just drip invite through Zapier. Zapier will basically connect Zapier and your Google Sheet and EverWebinar, and it'll basically drip invite everybody on your Google Sheet into your EverWebinar, and it will send
And,
out a transactional invite email to them. So
and this is the best strategy you discovered so far?
yeah, we use it for everything, man. So anytime I'm launching software, I'll basically generate a list of people that would, be a good fit for it, and then I'll drip invite them an invite to a product demo. And so we'll send out 30,000, invites a month, and get those people in front of it. And 1 to 2% of them will end up going to the webinar and watching the video, and then a percentage of those people will actually take the next step from there. So
So 300 people gonna join
yeah,
based on your calculations. All
yeah,
right. And same thing, just the emails with the same thing doesn't work, right? For example, if I send the email saying that, hey, one sentence email, for example, hey, we're building XYZ, check out if you want. It's not gonna work out that good, right? Compared to the first one.
yeah. So uh, I'm sorry, ask that again.
So sending email to these same people without the webinar link, but just plain text. Hey,
Yeah.
I've been building XYZ. If you're interested, check the website, for example, you know.
You can't do that because what you're doing is you're utilizing EverWebinar's transactional invite emails. So to get around the Can Spam Act of 2003, at least in the U.S., I'm not sure about in Dubai, um, but in the U.S. market, to send out an email to somebody legally, you can send out a transactional invite email through EverWebinar. So what EverWebinar does is they send out like a transactional invite email to people once you register them, and that is it's legal to send out. It's fully compliant, but you're not sending it from your own email server. You're sending it from EverWebinar's email server, not your own, and you're sending it through their transactional email server, which is completely separate from traditional emails. And so that way you're able to send out basically a bulk amount of emails. We're probably sending out like 8 emails a minute. I think is what we average. And so those go through EverWebinar though, because we're registering people, and then once they're registered on EverWebinar, it sends them that registration email, and then you have to title the name of their webinar in a way that it piques their interest basically when they see it in the email. Um, so that's probably the cheapest way to do it. I mean, I think to send 300 or to send out 30,000 emails through those platforms, it would cost you maybe 300-400 bucks, in a month to send out 30,000 emails. And that way you're not risking your domain's, email server. You're not running afoul of the Can Spam Act or anything like that. It's fully compliant. So
All right. All right. Amazing.
it is kind of growth hacking, but
Yeah,
you're
I'll
not.
use that. 100% I'll use that. Also, you also use Reddit, right, as a place to get leads, and how does it
Yeah.
work? Like, what's the best strategy in Reddit?
Well, I mean, Reddit's about kind of more developing one-on-one relationships with people. So like, I'll put up a post for I put up a post for the mentorship calls, and before I put up a call and I'd get or a post and I would get 40, 50 people signed up, and I'd be on calls all day for a couple months because people would keep finding it and signing up. So that's what I've done, about 800 calls over the last 4 years. But so that's probably the best way. You find like an ADHD group or subreddit on Reddit, and then you post, "Hey, I'm doing these free, ADHD mentorship calls," and then you have a link. They sign up, and maybe you could get on a web like a webinar with them and go through the product and get their feedback and sign them up basically. But that's probably a way to kind of scale that up a little bit by posting and then providing a link and then having them actually sign up on that webinar and stuff. So
All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I have to. All right, I got it. I got it. So I'm gonna use these both tools hopefully. You're gonna send me the strategy on my email, right?
yeah, yep, I'll email it to you.
All
So
right. Good.
well, and then if you
Yeah.
if you ever want to schedule another call, you can just use my same calendar link and we can hop on another call. I don't charge anything for the calls or anything, but So if you need some
Yeah,
follow up.
I was just interested in. You said you had 800 calls over the past 4 years, and
Mhm.
you decided to work with only 1% of them. And what's the key metric for you, key factor to work with a founder later on?
Yeah, I mean it's really about the size of the opportunity, and because
Mhm.
what I bring to it is a lot of the micro influencer marketing, and I own some platforms that allow me to scale our micro influencers up to where we can work with 100, 200,000 micro influencers at a time to really scale a company up. So I look for any way that I can, once I know the product is at a point where I can just throw growth marketing at it, I can basically jump in and scale it like crazy, like I did with Quillo. Quillo, I took 3 months and scaled it to 50 million downloads in no time, just from what we did in 3 months running the micro influencer campaign. So I want to find like a finished product that's, ready for growth marketing. And by finished product, I just mean the product's developed and we've got some type of like, market adoption where we know that if we send the right people there, they're going to convert. Once we have the conversion side of it down, then we can start throwing growth capital into it and scaling it up. So, but I can help you get to the point where you're scaling up. And then how I usually work with startups is we do like a letter of intent, and then there's an equity earn in. So I'll put up capital, I'll put up my time, my resources, and then as we hit our numbers in terms of user growth or revenue, then I'll earn equity in. So I don't ever ask for equity up front in companies. It's always an earn in, and it's always on a letter of intent, and that usually works the best. That way, it's all performance based, and But what I do works. I can scale a company up really quickly, and my thing is because I have ADHD, I hate the product development side. So I hate like developing my own projects. So if I can like find something that's already done and I can just throw my growth marketing into it, then that's like the perfect opportunity for me because I can really scale something up once it's finished. But my brain doesn't work well with managing projects and developing and all that. I hate.
Totally understandable. The last two questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
As a person that has ADHD, how relevant and how big is a problem for you if you're solving? Let's say from 1 to 10, and can you elaborate? And second question is, how long should it take us to the understanding reaches perfectly and start getting this at least first couple of people to pay us the lifetime subscription? So how long should it take us, and for how long should I aim, basically?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as far as ADHD affecting me, like early on, I mean, in high school, or actually probably in all the way from grade school to high school, I did horrible in school because of my ADHD. I probably had a 1.8 GPA in high
Mhm.
school, and but it's actually kind of made me a superhero in my world because it's allowed me to kind of become a serial entrepreneur and do a lot of things and do a lot of things well. Because if I'm interested in something, I'm highly focused on it and I can get it done.
Huh?
But it allows me to think outside the box, and so I've kind of used that disadvantage as an advantage in the corporate world because I've been able to scale a lot of companies and start a lot of companies and work with a lot of people. And because of the way that my brain works, I can work on several different projects a day and get more done. Um, but yeah, so I've kind of turned it into an advantage where in high school though and in grade school, definitely not an advantage, definitely a hindrance. But now I've kind of learned to live with it and learn how my brain works and learn how to you know, do the things that motivate me and keep me on focus. So, but I can see where, like being very task oriented helps me. Writing a list of tasks down and steps down helps me accomplish things. And so with a mind map, like what you guys are doing, figuring out like, what those steps are, and then having something that can like you can kind of keep track of, I think that would be very helpful for people with ADHD. So I can see the value in the product. I think it's how you communicate the product, how intuitive it is for people to use and really understand. That I think is the challenge that you're going to face is how do we make it easy enough and simple enough for people to really get it that aren't tech savvy, or if they are, even if they are tech savvy, like the amount of time that you spend doing, you know, Clarity, is it going to are people going to use it and actually get value out of it. So that's the challenge that you're going to face. It's not, it's not reaching the people that have ADHD. It's reaching them and getting them to actually use it and getting them to find value in it to where they won't mind paying for it. Because there's a lot of productivity apps out there that are designed for people with ADHD. You just have to have a better mousetrap, or you have to have better messaging. So if you can have better messaging and get in front of those people and get them to, take that step of actually learning how to use it, then you've won the battle. So, but that's where like using micro influencers and the value in micro influencers with what you're doing is you can have literally thousands of people creating videos about Clarity and teaching other people how to use it in those videos and then posting those videos to social media where now your app is everywhere. And then also if once you launch the app, putting it in the app store, having all those people recommend it and searching for it in the app store is going to like rank better and generate all those organic downloads in the app store for your app. And a lot of those will be at no cost. So, that's a challenge. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but you've got to develop a product that really works, that's easy, it's intuitive, and will provide a lot of value that people will want to pay for and continue paying for. So, yeah.
Right.
And
So
on the pricing side too, in the app, it's, the apps that we've done, if you have, usually the lifetime app pays for your marketing costs, but to have like a monthly recurring, cost is probably better than just having, an annual cost for something. So have like a monthly recurring fee, have like a 14-day free trial that automatically converts to a paid subscription in the App Store, and then have the lifetime membership available for $99 because that's usually what pays your cost of customer acquisition across all your marketing channels until you're ranked in the App Store and you're generating those organic downloads. But if you're having to pay to acquire, users through traditional marketing, meta ads or whatever, you're going to need to have the lifetime subscription. But the vast majority of your revenue is going to come from, monthly subscriptions because a lot of people aren't going to want to pay $99 up front. So you're going to end up losing a lot of revenue, potential revenue, just by sticking with a higher price point. So. But a lot of people will want to save money, and $99 isn't a bunch of money to a lot of people, so they'll pay it.
actually, the $99 lifetime was only for the first 20 users, just to
Oh,
get the validation. But then later I have to come up with a more flexible payment system. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
yeah,
Good
and you want
advice.
to test like you're gonna want to test your pricing strategy and stuff too before you launch in the app store.
Yeah,
So
stick to early for now. I just have to validate it any way possible. I'm trying
yeah,
to work the idea right now. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's what I do. I'm gonna go try to get this people talk to me, get calls, use any tools possible, using the webinars you told me, using the Reddit, anyhow. Yeah, and as soon as I reach the level that I'm confident enough about my product that's it's already being validated, I'm probably gonna book another call with you to ask you at the later stage. Let's focus one step at a time. I don't want to, think about too far. I have to just focus about how to validate it right now and how to potentially make some first money. That's my goal right now.
focus on product. Obviously, product's big. Definitely make sure that the people that you're bringing to it, are giving you good feedback, and you're developing a product that kind of matches what they're saying they need. But make it as intuitive as possible because you got to design things for literally like a third grader. If my third grader can't use it, then most people aren't going to be able to use it.
Okay.
So, you got to build it simple and kind of stupid. So,
All right. Yeah, I'll make sure to build a good design.
yeah.
Thank you again, man.
Thanks, Jago.
Thank you for advice. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet
Sorry
you.
if I'm not emotional enough. I'm just thinking a lot in the brain.
Yeah, you're good. No worries. Well, yep. Looking forward to getting on another call with you when you guys are a little bit further along.
Hopefully.
So,
All right. Thank you, man.
thanks,
Thank you.
man. Talk to you later.